Hey there, I'm Emgris, I'm from Dacha, and here is my YouTube video basically about Dacha. Probably you know about this concept, Russian Dacha. That is kind of a country house, but a bit more than that, and that's what we are going to talk about today, and that's what I'm going to show you. You probably wonder why I'm dressed like that, but that's the classical Dacha's wardrobe. You basically take everything that you own of the clothes that are old, that are maybe somewhere stained, where there are some like holes maybe, and then you just recycle them, reuse them, and those are your Dacha's wardrobe. Like this one is the robe from Uzbekistan, where my mother actually used to live when she was little, and my grandparents and her, they bought it there and brought it here to Samara, and now we have this thing that is really nice in the evening when it's getting cooler, and that's really nice. And then you have the classical wardrobe. You have some slippers, you have slippers, you have some shorts, some old t-shirt. Okay, not old, but a t-shirt that you sometimes don't wear publicly, and that's the whole wardrobe of the Dacha. So basically the difference between summer house that you might find in the USA, for instance, and between Dacha is that the summer house is a place where you come in summer, you relax, you make barbecue, and you basically just do nothing. Dacha is a pretty different thing because as you might think that Dacha is a nice place, it is, but basically what you do on the Dacha is work. So yeah, and you have to water plants, you have to take care of them, you have to plant something, take out something. Basically all the time you have some work around the house, around your garden, because usually a Dacha is a house, a small house with a garden around it, and still even now they usually have gardens, like vegetable gardens, although you can find every vegetable right now in the market, in supermarkets, in the shop, but people still try to grow their own vegetables, their own crops, because they believe that it is more organic, more healthy. Probably it is, but it depends upon how you grow it. A good feature of any Dacha is a close proximity to some river, lake, or any kind of water thing, and it means that you can several times a day you can just go bathe, have a long swim, and just enjoy the water. In summer it's really important, and that's where I'm heading right now. So I'll show you what the beach looks like, and it's actually, in our case, it's the city beach, and so it has good sand, some facilities, and basically a nice place to hang out and spend some hot summer days. I'm really surprised to find out that they actually do collect bottles here, and it's full, so it means that people actually use it. That's cool. I have never seen it over here, and let's have a look at the water. Friend of mine. So basically that's one of the delicacies that you can find in the Volga River, the cancers basically, and it's basically a tradition in Samara to eat them, and usually it's usually You can buy them boiled, you can buy them fried, but it's not traditional. Traditionally, you buy them like this. They must be alive. They must be alive because in other basically what might happen is that if they're dead, you can never know why they died, when they died, mostly because if they are dead, they can rot pretty easily and pretty fast. So you don't want to eat rotten cancers because basically you can get food poisoning, etc. And how we actually make them? You take cancers, you can treat them like a lobster, like a proper lobster. And when you cook a lobster, you need to get rid of their poop, basically. So how we do this? Have a look. So we take cancer, we take this middle thing, and then you just. I hope that we won't get demonetized. So that's what you do. Don't worry, they don't feel pain because they don't have the proper nervous system. And then you just boil them, and I will show you a bit later that and what you put inside the water as well. So stay tuned. You put in the water, in the boiling water, those cancers, and before that you basically put some herbs, parsley, everything that you have, and then you put them. They are going red. This means that they are basically boiling and getting ready to eat them. Dinner, barbecue in the wild and in the wilderness of your dacha is a really important part of the tradition of dacha life. And basically, nearly every evening you have the meal cooked on fire. It is barbecue, the one that we call shashliki. It's made mostly of pork, sometimes chicken, but usually pork. And you have different marinades, you have different sauces, and you basically cook them on fire, just frying them on fire, this pieces of meat. And you have a drink, and you just enjoy the weather, you enjoy the company, you enjoy people around you, and basically the whole atmosphere of summer. Samara is situated on the Volga River. That's why you can actually commute by ships, and it's a nice way to get from your dacha to the city center, and that's what we are going to do right now, because you get a new and nice view of the whole city, of the city line, and it's much more fun than just by going by car and just getting stuck in the traffic jam. And here you get some fresh wind, you get some new vibe, and the whole city resort kind of feeling. So every time when you're on the dacha, you have plenty of things to do around the house, around the garden, and even when you think that you've done everything, you've watered the flowers, you cut the grass, you mowed the lawn, you did everything, there are still plenty of things to do, trust me. You're never done with them. And you have to start all over again every other summer, every summer, not every other summer, and basically do all the things all and over again. But they say it's fun. So you can get to the dacha by different means of transport, by car obviously, by bus or some shuttle bus, or by electrichka, the intercity train. And it depends upon where your dacha is located, because in my case our dacha is within the city and really close to the public transport, so you can get here by bus, by shuttle bus. In our case usually we come by car, because you can take a lot of things with you in the car, but if your dacha is somewhere not close to the city, you will have to take probably electrichka, the intercity train, and then commute by bus, so it might take you some time to get to your dacha if you're not lucky. Basically, why I'm saying that you're lucky, because like nowadays you can buy like just buy the dacha, and it will cost you again, the price depends upon the proximity to the city, it's kind of obvious, but why I'm saying that you're lucky is that basically in the 90s and sorry, not in the 90s, like in the 50s, dachas were distributed to workers of some companies, some like factories, to workers of some plants, to some professors, etc. So back in those times, in the USSR times, you couldn't just buy a piece of land, you can get it. And that's why in our case, for example, we have this dacha because our grandparents got it, and we are quite lucky because it is within the city. That is really cool. And also it is really close to the Volga River, that I will show you a little bit later. Nowadays, if you have a dacha within the city, people tend to make those dachas their permanent houses. So they build a big house, they lose part of their land because the house is really big and they want to feed all the family, and like the family, each member of the family will have their own room. And basically this means that a lot of dachas around our dacha are now permanent houses. And it seems like our proper dacha, the one that we come to just in summer, looks like a green oasis within the place of concrete buildings. Because we have a lot of greenery, we have a really tiny country house, I mean the house itself, and just a lot of greenery around it that people who make big houses can't afford to have. Facilities of the dacha. Basically, on the proper dacha you have the WC, the toilet, that is a completely different building that is behind me, and you have the shower, that is another building that we have over here, and usually you have the sink that is the outside sink that is used for cleaning dishes, and it's just nice to have a sink outside. So those are the facilities of the proper dacha, not the country house, not the permanent house, just the dacha as it is. So I've shown you my dacha, the classical dacha that still exists, but it's it soon will vanish because people tend to, at least those who have the desire to maintain dacha, they try to make more permanent houses and more live there more than just several weeks a year or several months a year. They try to come there in winter, maybe have some parties and invite people over. So you can see behind me some buildings that are kind of dachas but more like permanent houses, and that's how people live nowadays. And not in the dachas, at least where I live. Have you got any questions about Russia or about dachas? Leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification button, subscribe to my other social media, links in the description below, and see ya!